Well, our next speaker comes from Carlsberg Group and will give a practical presentation on innovative solutions for maintaining and monitoring labor protection. And Ieva Melbarde is Health and Safety Environment Manager for Baltics. And please welcome Ieva. And Ieva, please, can you just start with a little comment on what you have seen so far on exoskeletons? Is there anything to do with this and your business, for example?
Actually, yes. We are currently testing them in our Lithuania brewery. We just started, and first insights are that one endoskeleton doesn't fit everyone, but we have some at least who are really keen to continue experiments and continue to use them.
So you see already some benefits and also some risks?
Benefits, definitely. Those employees who are keen on them say that they feel better after the shift, that they can do the same work with less effort, they feel less pain after their shifts. But of course, some who are this part of society who are not so keen on new challenges and opportunities, they need to argue in the beginning, but let's see what happens after.
So it's like, leave me alone.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck, Ieva. Welcome.
Thanks, Baltic. Yeah. So, to briefly introduce myself, I'm Ieva Melbarde, and for 4 years already I'm in beer industry, and in total in safety industry I'm for more than 10 years. And topic on which I'm going to speak today, I will share some apps and digital tools which we use to ensure our compliance to health and safety standards, and also some tools which helps us to reach our targets in health and safety field. And before we go into details about digital tools, I will briefly introduce you with Carlsberg Baltics so you understand what are our scope. Then we will move to our Sprint tool, which is our library of standards and self-assessments in different fields. Second tool which I will introduce will be Baltic, and this tool in health and safety field we utilize firstly for different observations connected with safety and the environment, and as well this is tool which our leaders and managers utilize for doing safety walks. As one of our main risks are connected with traffic, I will share also two tools which we use for ensuring our drivers firstly knowledge about safety risks connected with traffic, and also some tools which we use in warehouse. And of course, as for everything in our life, there are some pros and cons for everything. I will also share some challenges which we faced during implementing those tools and also maintaining.
No way.
So, who we are. In total, in Baltics, we have 800 employees in non-season, and in hot season, which are in beer industry in Baltics starts at end of April and lasts till end of September, we have till 900 employees. We have 4 breweries. Here in Latvia we have Aldaris, then in Estonia we have Saku brewery, and in Lithuania we have 2 breweries. One is microbrewery in Klaipėda, and we have big one brewery in Utena city. What functions we have? First and the biggest, of course, is integrated supply chain, which stands for full cycle production, including quality control, which we have separately in each brewery, and for logistics, we have full in-house logistics operations, and in Latvia we have also our own cargo fleet. Of course, sales. We do have regional sales offices across whole Baltics, and also everything that is connected with administration. So, moving to first tool, this is called Sprint. And the 2 main parts which is covered by this is firstly that we utilize this tool to understand where we are and where we want to be. And it starts with library of standards. In total, in health and safety, we do have a little bit more than 40 standards, but actually this tool covers all departments which we have, like quality, maintenance, utility, and so each employee can go into this tool and find all standards which are relevant for him or her. It is definitely a place where to exchange ideas for improvements, as each user who can access this app can give ideas on statement of each standard, how to improve it, or challenge owners of the standard. That's something maybe can be done even better. Of course, audits itself and self-assessments. And one side of audits is held by owners of this topic in each brewery. So we do self-assessments annually to understand if we can really state that each statement is yes, fully implemented, whether it is work in progress, or we can state also no. And the second part of audits and assessments comes from, for example, senior managers, group health and safety, when they are visiting sites, they can spend less time on papers. They already at their office can check this paper part, what is compliant, what is not, and they have opportunities to spend more time on shop floor. And also, this tool allows to generate some random audit lists. Before you are visiting some brewery, you can put your checklist, what you are going to see. Task management, which means we will go further in details, that we can be happy and say, no, we are not compliant for each statement, which is no or work in progress. We are assigning task where we state who will fix it, what is deadline, and so on. And also, it is place where we share good practice. So basically, when you reach for standard, here you can see a full list of all statements which are in this standard. There are two possibilities. You can read it visually, or if you prefer reading, it's possible also to print latest version. Then change request at the upper right side is place where you can give your ideas how to improve this standard, to challenge if you see that some statements of this standard is needing some change. And here also you see good practices, which when you open, you can see with pictures and explanation information about implementation. And there is also contact information, expected expenses of this best practice. So if you are interested to implement it in your brewery, you can get in touch with someone who already did it once and ask for experience, challenges, and so on. So moving on, here you can see how happens assignment of tasks. So you briefly describe what needs to be done, assign responsible person, priority, confidentiality, and due date. And those tasks, they are collected into system where you can filter if something is assigned to you or to your brewery. And once you have done this task, you close it, and it automatically increases your percentage of compliance in the system. Here you can see how it looks like small part of it summarized. Sprint system data goes to Power BI, and it can be also exported to Excel files. And we do reporting on monthly basis to our senior managers, where we track our critical standards. We see what is progress overall for critical standards, and also separately for those which we stated are critical for us. And since last year also we invented the initiative which is called Must-Win Battles, where we decide on our priorities, on our training programs, some huge events, and then each brewery also tracks status for those must-win battles, how far we are during each month. Here are a summary, which, for example, senior managers can go into the system and check before visiting the site. So you can see compliance when self-assessment was done first time, it is initial, current com score, you can track how many actions and statements are fully implemented, how many are work in progress, and then you can also see comments if something is not done, and you can also already just click on ID of task and check what is status of corrective actions. And also the system can hold a lot of pictures and documents, so if you want to check, for example, on-site traffic management document for the site, you can reach it via the self-assessment, and then when you are physically in brewery, you don't need so much time to check papers. You can actually go and speak with employees and see what is happening in real life. Next tool which we use is Baltic, and mainly we use it for safety observations, tags, and also for safety walks for those employees who are assigned to do them. So we do have also obligated KPI for all blue collars in ISC, so they are mandated to do 6 safety observations per year, and this is tool where we utilize to report them and also to track if they are reported. This app can be accessed from cell phones, from tablets, and also from PC. And in our case, 100% all of our employees are users of this app. So those who have work email, they just can access it via their email. For those who don't have work emails, then we get in touch with the developer of this app, and they onboard them with, let's say, fake emails. And I think biggest plus for user side is that one employee can do one observation approximately only in 1 minute. Here you can see how it all comes together based on manager rights. They have task manager board where they can see all observations and reports collected in one place, and they have really different filters at the left side how they can filter it based on department which is reporting, based where it happened, the employee who reported, and so on and so on. And second part is I would say analytics, which we utilize to see tendencies of our observations. Firstly, this is a tool where we analyze unsafe behaviors and unsafe conditions to identify fields where we need to work currently. If we see, for example, increase of chemical-related unsafe behaviors, then we take decision to do additional trainings to focus more during safety walks. And the same if we have done some huge training campaign connected with some topic, afterwards we are checking if it is corresponded also in amount of observations, because when we launched this safety observation program, then most employees' observations were not very noteworthy. It was someone forgotten to use safety vest or something connected with that, but now we actually receive observations connected with ergonomics, high-risky jobs, not following maybe some contractors' rules. So we are working also on this quality, what we actually get in this system. From user experience, so here you can see how it looks from cell phone, but also in tablet and PC, it actually looks quite similar. And on left side, when you enter the app, you can see whether something is assigned to you, or if you had situations that you started to report something and something happened you didn't finish, you can see your all work in progress reports also here. And right side, this violet plus button is where the journey starts in the reporting. First step is to decide what you want to report. It can be whether near miss, it can be behavior observation, or something connected with conditions and environment. And also you choose geographic, because based on place where it happened, system will decide if you will need some help in dealing with this problem, which manager needs to get email about this report. And then next steps, we do have classification safe or unsafe behaviors. We are dealing into our company quite a lot to change mindsets that safety observation means that someone will come and punish you about something that you are doing wrong. So we encourage also our shop floor employees that if you notice that your colleague finally started to do something in safe way, you can report also this. Or if manager knows that he has spoke 2 times with one employee about some exact problem, and at third time he notices that there is improvement and changes, again, you can report it here. Then next step is field in which observation is done. For example, our life-saving rules or manual lifting, chemicals, PPEs, fire safety, and we utilize also this application for environmental related topics, like if some spillage is seen or some contractors are dealing with environmental questions not in accordance with our guidelines, also this app can be used. Next steps are decision whether some corrective actions are needed or no, and if you can deal it with yourself, or if you push I need help, then your manager will receive email that your employee needs help. And then basically you push done, and safety observation is reported and escalated and went to the system. And each employee who has reported the observation, there is also a feedback part where he can see, for example, that corrective actions are done and this case is closed, or if there is some challenges to implement it due to, for example, huge financial resources needed. Also, this can be written to him back to motivate employees to report more and more, that they actually see that there are some feedback coming and someone is acting after their observations. Next part is safe driving. As I mentioned in the beginning, safe driving is one of our core values, as we have really a lot of driving employees. And we have 2 modules. One module is practical training, where we cooperate with field experts per each country. And second part is theoretical training modules, where we work with company fleet defense. And our scope are 100% all company drivers. In Baltics case, those are light vehicles and trucks. And for Carlsberg countries where we have also 2-wheelers engaged in logistics operations, also those are engaged in trainings. Our decision is to have 2 training sessions per year. And basically they have 3 to 4 months to pass each of this module. To cover our different understanding and sense, each session includes reading part for those who remembers better when they read. Then there is listening part, and also we do have video part with different videos with explanation what you have heard and read previously. And least but not last, is test, where you need to pass it and answer correct on at least 80% of questions. And for those who are newcomers to our company, this test usually is a little bit surprise, because they expect, okay, now I will just check something in phone and randomly show correct answers, but it is not working as it, because questions are really challenging and requires deep thinking to answer them correctly. And if you don't pass test, then it is required to repeat you once more. How we decide topics on which to train our employees. Our ExCom and group senior managers each year firstly do analyze of root causes for accidents which are connected with traffic, and also on some tendencies in the world or upcoming events. And some examples on topics on which we have trained already our employees are distractions, blind spot for trucks, tiredness, aggressive driving, and some similar ones. And what is the biggest advantage, I think, of this program is that it is available in local languages. So in Latvia, we learn in Latvian, in Estonia, in Estonian, and in Lithuania, in Lithuanian. And also all pictures and videos are adjusted to the country from which you are learning. So videos are taken on our roads, where employee can recognize this place. So really, I have been also driving there. Here I added a few visualizations, how it looks. So left corner is reading part, where you can read different statements. Then there is part with videos and voice messages. And here you can see test questions. As you see, there is quite a lot of possibilities of right answers, and those are quite tricky ones. And then you can see if you passed the test, and if you passed, you also receive certificate. Another part where we are currently working on, it is digitalization of our checks for forklifts and poets in our warehouses. So previously it was done whether in paper form or just formally. So now we are connecting managing electronic system of each technical device in warehouse with technical checks. So it's mandatory to do it before your shift. It is first thing which appears on your screen when you turn on the equipment. And there are a list of quite easy statements which you need to answer no or yes, or okay or not okay, and only in case if there something is not okay, it is required to briefly write down what you observed, whether it is leakage or some functionality is not working properly, and then you just push submit your checklist, and the manager who is responsible for this unit receives again email with identification number of vehicle which is not working properly, and this vehicle is blocked for usage until it is fixed from service who is serving for us. So moving to challenges, I already hear that in safety industry it's no chances that you will manage with your knowledges which you have like finishing university. And definitely each digital tool requires a lot of learning for those who will be owners of this project and super users. Firstly, to successfully maintain and run this project or app. And secondly, also, if you want to spread the message and be proud of this tool and share what you can do, what you will gain, it requires really expert user communication and the ability to answer to all questions. So in my side, I think most challenging was IT side. I was required even to learn a little bit programming to manage systems as all what is connected with IT. If you can't do it yourself, you will be required to pay quite a lot of money. Second big investment which we were mandated to do was network coverage, because in most of our programs 100% all employees are users. So brewery, ground levels, warehouses, everywhere we were required to install additional network devices, so it can be utilized. Otherwise, like if you need to go and seek place where this app works, it is just not working. Assessment of available devices. Although we are in 21st century, we still have few employees who are using not touch screens for phones, but buttons phones, and as well employees who have only their private phone, who don't need phone for their duties. They have rights to decide, I don't want to install, work up on my private phone. So we are offering possibility to utilize tablets, which are in different departments available, and also some PC working stations where you can also do, for example, observations reporting. Readiness to deliver training sessions. Firstly, very important to understand. If you just once present it in some company event, oh, we launched this app and now we will do everything, it is not working as such. You need to be ready to go to each department to sell idea, to explain what you will gain if you will use, why it is important for us, how to actually use it. And in our case also, we needed quite a lot one-to-one training sessions where you physically sit down with the employee, you go through the app, you show how it works, how to report it, and also on everyday life, definitely you need to be ready that someone will come and say, hey, your app is not working, help me please, I don't know what is happening, and then you need to understand and check what is the problem. Next one, cost versus what you gain. Obviously, most of those solutions are not the cheapest ones, and firstly, stakeholders who take the decision whether we will pay and buy it definitely will ask, why it is better than our current way of working, why it is better than Excel form or paper form. So you need to be prepared and share for senior managers why we need to go in this direction. And actually, it is two-way selling point, because also employees who are not directly connected with health and safety will definitely ask why one more project, why we need to do it, why it is important. And last one, all of companies more or less currently going the diversity side. So firstly, it means that our company is multinational and not everyone speaks the same language. And safety is a field where we can't afford to speak in language which employee doesn't understand. And what it means physically is that each app or program which you launch, if employees and user, he needs to understand it. And you need to ensure, firstly, that it will be available in language which he understands. Second part is age, that our newest generation who basically lives with a cell phone in their hands, it will be not a problem for them, but for those who are already closer to pension, it definitely will be your stakeholders for frequent trainings, frequent help and support. And also you need to take into account that knowledge of each employee and previous experience may be different. Maybe he or she have been in touch with some app or solution which was just not working and having different bugs all the time, then definitely this selling will be a little bit harder for him. And in the beginning, I would say that don't expect that any digital tool will maintain itself. It will still require time, your attention, and knowledge to maintain, but better you do it, more frequently you pay attention to it and speak about it, the bigger outcome and value you will get out of it. So, thank you, and if any questions, I'm open to answer.
So, questions, please. Just raise your hand, and here we are with the mic. Yes.
Hello. All these tools, they are locally developed with local OT guys, or they come from abroad, from Carlsberg Group cooperative standards, or what is the situation?
Origin of each tool is different. Fleet Defense comes from Canada, some of them comes from England, so they are global tools. Okay. But they are available, all of them which are presented, we use in Latvian language, they are adapted to our market.
So we can buy them from you?
No, from developer.
All right.
Okay,
if someone is interested, can get in touch and I can share contact details who developed it.
All right, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Here we go.
And so do I understand correctly that this app can also be used not just for work safety, but also for other business applications, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It can be applied. Okay.
Yeah,
thanks.
for example, Baltic we are using for hygiene needs. We are doing hygiene audits in breweries, and Sprint covers 100% all functions and departments we have. So there are hundreds of standards, good practices.
So work safety is just an example.
Yeah. I just put effort and my attention on safety field.
Thank you. Some more? Any other questions or comments or suggestions? Maybe? All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Woohoo! Yeah, it's just to wake up. And round of applause to Ieva.